Hi everybody, hope you're all doing well. I'm going to start the first class, so hopefully you've got all the equipment I asked you to have ready. Pots of paint, I have several colours here of emulsion and also some chalk paint, which is quite nice to paint with. I've got my selection of brushes, different sizes and different widths. My paper and a pot of water just so that I can put the brushes in to stop them from drying up. So I started off by already painting just some flat colours onto brown paper, and then I did this one on wrapping paper. I don't know if you can see it, but if you look closely at it, you can still see the dots coming through the paint, which will make a nice texture when we go to use this for collage. And I painted on this bit of cardboard. There's still a bit of the yellow coming through, but I don't mind that. It's up to you. You can make it completely flat. You probably need to do 2 coats, maybe 3. Also, this I quite liked, this wee bit of textured paintwork that was on the box, so I didn't paint over that because I like it and I think I could use that in the collage. So those ones are all ready, so I'm just going to put them over there, and then I want to show you some other techniques that you could use if you don't want everything to be completely flat. So this one is a dry brush effect. So basically you want your brush to be as dry as possible. I just wipe it off on a bit of kitchen roll so that it's quite dry. Dip it in the paint, but take off the excess paint. You want your brush to be kind of almost dry, and then you just drag it across the paper. I hope you can see what I'm doing okay. And you can sort of keep going over it until you get the depth that you want. So at the top of the page I've gone quite heavily, and then I've just got lighter and my brush is drier excuse me, as we go down the page. And then when we go to cut things out and make shapes with this, it'll be quite an interesting texture. So that's another one. Put your brush in the water. This one is where I've used 2 colours. So the way to do that is start at the top of the page with the lighter colour and just brush it on and go sort of a bit more than halfway down the page. Go over it a few times. While it's still wet, dip it in the other colour. Same brush, even though it's dirty with the pink paint, that's okay because it's all going to blend in. Start at the bottom of the page and work your way up to the pink. Bit more paint needed. And then you just kind of blend the 2 colours together in the middle, and that makes a really nice gradient effect, which is quite fun. And so if you were cutting a shape out of that, you know, you could make some interesting leaves or flowers or petals or something like that with that one. This one, it's gold paper, but I wanted some of the gold to come through. So what I am doing with that one is get the paintbrush. This brush is actually dry. Dip it in, but you don't want to have too much, so I'm taking a bit of excess off onto the lid. And then basically splodge it on and spread the paint around and move your brush about so that it's not making sort of a definite shape. You want it just to be a splodge. Bit more paint on. You don't want too much paint on or it'll be kind of messy, but just a bit of paint. And you can kind of keep going. You can leave little gaps so the gold comes through, or you can go more heavily. I mean, you could go over it 2 or 3 times. If you want the colour to be stronger than the gold. So that's another nice little texture. This one, I'm doing this on a piece of magazine page that I ripped out, and I kind of liked the words on it, so I didn't want to completely paint over all the words. So what I've done with this one is similar to the last one with the blue. Dip your brush in, take off the excess, and then I'm just kind of doing swirly motions. Again, it's a sort of dry brush effect. You don't want loads of paint on your brush. And then if you look at it closely, the words are still coming through. So again, it's going to make a nice texture. And then you can do sort of heavier bits. If you go over it again, you can have more definite red bits. But that's going to make a really nice texture. Hope you can see these okay. I have another one here that I thought I would just try some stripes. So for that one, I've used this. It's a very old brush, but it has like a square end, or it used to. It's a bit frazzled now, but just dip that in. You want quite a lot of paint on your brush for this one, and then just drag it down the paper. And if you wanted to, you could even go across the other way and make more of a sort of tartany pattern. And you know, in some areas it's solid, and in other areas it's kind of brushy, which is quite nice. And again, with a more pointy brush, you can get the finer lines if you use a finer brush. So there you go. Now there are a couple of other things I was thinking of. I can find the paper. So I'm going to just clean that brush and give it a wipe off. I was thinking about doing some dots. So I've got this one that I painted pink, and I'm going to do some green dots on it. So they're not perfect dots, they're just fun splodgy dots. So that could be, or I mean, those are maybe a bit too fussy. What you could do is just go like this with the tip of the brush. Some finer dots. So again, that's just going to make a different kind of texture for the collage that we're going to make. Got one more to show you. Got an old bit of like packaging material here that came in a parcel, and I'm going to scrunch it up, and then I'm going to, going to put a bit of paint in that wee lid, and where it's all scrunched up, I'm going to dip it in there Oh, I don't know if this is going to work because the colours are too close together. Can you see that? I'm going to try it on a different colour. Try it on the pink. So dip it in the paint. It's quite messy and mucky and thick with paint, but if you just splodge it on, these are not ideal colours together, but it's really just so that you can see the effect that I'm trying to get. So there you go, a sort of spongy spattered kind of effect. I mean, you can carry on with a different colour on top of that again, and then a different colour. The same with the dots and the stripes. You can just keep adding to it and making loads of different effects and colour combinations. So I just want you to have fun and get messy and experiment and build up a library of different colours and different textures that we're going to use in the next lesson for Little Collage. Okay, see you soon. Bye.